everyone. Welcome back to Relentless Talk Radio. This is episode 86 of Relentless Talk Radio. It's a hop back, pivot forward episode. I'm here with Gail Friend of Gail Friend Designs. And oh my God, it's been one of those days where we've had technical difficulties everywhere. So poor Gail had a couple hard seconds getting her video to connect. And I didn't even have time to dry my hair today. Look how fuzzy it is. It's a little crazy.
I like it.
The whole topic of the conversation is hopping back to pivot forward. So every week, that's what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
So tell everybody who you are and what you do.
My name is Gail Friend, and my design company is Gail Friend Designs. And I've designed a few different things along the way, but I've kind of come to the realization that I really like doing special event dresses, ball gowns, things like that.
I cannot wait for you to design a dress for me. I'm looking forward to it. You know, actually, I didn't talk about this pre-episode. So I've been nominated for the Leukemia Lymphoma Woman of the Year Award.
I heard
and
you say that, yeah.
And next year in May, there's a big gala. And I'm going to be picking 5 designers to compete to design my dress that night.
Oh my gosh, how funny. That'll be fun.
So you'll have an option if that's something you want to do. And I'd love to wear one of your designs because that's definitely a high profile event. Oh, there she goes. She's gone. She's now having a panic attack because she's gone. She'll come back. So I'll just tell you a bit more about this event. There's a gala in May of next year, and I'll be doing a poker run from there she is. It's just been that kind of day, quite frankly. It's just been that kind of day. I don't know. I mean, there you go. There she goes. She's back. So cool. So
that actually sounds like a great idea, though. Thank you.
So I will let you know, like when that's coming up. So you and I have so many things to talk about. Since we had you on last year, and you know what's really funny, Gail? It's the same time frame because I competed in August last year. You designed my bikini for the Slayer Classic last year when I competed, and I still have it in my closet. I'll eventually return it to you. But it's a beautiful bikini that you made, and it was part of one of the things that you used to do. But you've had some shifts and pivots since then. So one of the reasons why I chose hop back, pivot forward is because you've had a lot of changes and kind of not change your focus as far as your purpose, but you've had some pivoting to do, right? So tell me about your business and what's happened over the past year, because there's been a lot of changes for you in the past year, for both of us. I mean, really, you think about it.
It really has. I mean, I really like doing the fashion, and for me, fashion is more about the art. I'm not looking to start this humongous label that's going to be selling all over the world and stuff. I just want to create the art. So it's one-of-a-kind pieces. I'm practicing and really studying and learning couture techniques. I just want to create, instead of using a canvas, I just want to use fabric, So that's kind of what I've settled on that I really like to do. But when, COVID hit, it really flattened the fashion industry, like everything else, but really the fashion industry, what are you going to do? I mean, it's not one of the most essential things in the world right now. So I kept it in my mind, but I kind of tucked it in the back, and I live alone. My kids are grown and stuff. So there's a lot of isolation, and, I'm blessed to work from home. I have a great job, day job anyway. So that didn't change, but it was still a lot. I'm an extrovert and had to learn to be an introvert real fast. So I picked up my drawing again. I used to do some commercial illustration and stuff. So I kind of started doing some fashion illustration and practicing my animation. So I've been just having a lot of fun with that, and still doodling with designs and keeping that in the back of my mind, but never losing sight of it. And just lo and behold, I just got this random message from
I'm smiling because I just love how this happens. You're busy doing other things, and your future just randomly calls you and says what?
It just, they invited me to a show at Milan City Fashion Week. It's one of the shows. It's not the big Milan show where all the, huge designers are, but it's kind of like New York Fashion Week has the satellite shows and stuff. So it's a Milan City Fashion Week show. So it's amazing. It's someplace I've always wanted to go. So I'm super excited, and it came out of nowhere. But I really believe if you just put that stuff out there, what you would love to see happen someday, and then just get to work and do it, it'll eventually find you, I think. I've just found that to be true since I've started doing fashion and all this stuff a few years ago. Most of the time, I seem to be running and chasing after it. Things happen to me, and I have to keep up with it. It's been a very weird way. It's just been a very weird experience, but it's been the best, to be honest. So
that's, Matt is watching and he's saying, so he says, he's so glad that you get to go there. He says, what an inspiration. In fact, one of the things that Matt told me pre-interview, Matt, the owner of Krav Maga, there, I got it right, Matt. Is that he took a year off with his kids and they traveled when they were babies all over Europe. So between the time that he came to Arizona from Chicago, he took his wife and his kids and they went to Europe and just traveled around for a period of time before they landed here. They landed in Anthem. And I think that travel is just so important. And Matt felt that it was important for his kids and for he and his wife that experience. So yeah, I'm sure you're thrilled that you're going. So, and it is an inspiration, Matt. You're absolutely right that that to be able to go and well, number one, finding me. And I've made all these friends that are Micalizzis all over Italy. So I'm gonna have to find out which one of them lives in Milan so they can look you up. I mean, we must be related at some level, but it's really, really super exciting. So what's one of the biggest lessons I think that you've learned about being in business this year is, I can't wait to hear what you have to say, because I'm thinking there's one huge one that's glaringly obvious to me, but what's the big lesson this year?
Well, you kind of touched on it with Matt. I mean, it's resilience, it's patience, mostly. It's putting in the work. If sometimes you might not know the outcome or what's going to happen, but it's showing up every day and putting in the work. And systems are huge. I couldn't agree with him more about systems. They're really, really important. But I think resilience, be able to take something like this situation we've got going on in the world right now. It's not stuck here in Arizona. This is global. This is huge. And you just have to be resilient, and you have to not lose sight of what you want. This isn't going to last forever. Someday this will be in the history books. So you don't want to just lose sight of the future. But like you're saying, you have to pivot. You've got to be able to, I think a lot of people can gain a lot of opportunity from really hard times. If you look and you just kind of evaluate and you just sit back and take yourself out of the situation and you just really open your mind, there's always some silver lining. And it's just a matter of applying yourself and not getting lost in the fear and not getting lost in the chaos and not getting lost in all of that, and separating yourself from it and sorting that out. And I think that's a huge lesson too.
Yeah, well, I think one of the things that, as I'm listening to your story, you just got busy doing the next right thing and the phone rang.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we think that we have to actually make the phone ring.
Yeah.
And, the phone rang because you were doing your thing and somebody found you. So while you're doing your thing, the universe can find you. If you don't do your thing, no one's going to ever find you.
No, it's not a wish. You can't throw the wish out there. It's work, and you have to show up to do the work and show you're serious about it. So
I think you answered the question about what's the biggest lesson that you've learned in business this year, and how do you hop back and pivot forward together. I think that's been part of the lesson this year, is that okay, I'm going to work on my illustration books. And so you've been working on some really great illustrative books that you're going to potentially use for a fundraiser somehow to get to, because they actually do make you pay to fly. You're not going to just, have like pretty limousines going to go up and just scoop you up and like make designing. So that costs money, right?
Yeah.
The top pre-episode was, I'm going to be in the Phoenix Motor Girls Halloween parade this year on my motorcycle, my Harley Davidson, my silver, actually, ironically, silver lining. And you and I potentially, we've kind of started to talk around a little bit. We'll be working on my crazy Halloween costume. I've got some really great ideas about, I don't know whether they're great or not, but I have some ideas about some really big, crazy headpiece, shoulder thing with a cat suit and just really outlandish, and that you and I might work on that. And if we do that, we'll use it as a fundraiser for Milan.
That'd be great. Yeah, it's, and I'm like I said, I'm putting in the work, and I'm not worried about it. It's going to come. It'll sort itself out. I'm not going to spend hours and hours stressing over something that.
You've got time too, because it's next year, right?
Yeah, I think they were really wanting me to do February, but I said I don't even know if I can get out of the United States by February.
Yeah, I'm the person even
And another piece for me was, if I'm going to do this, and this is an expense, and this is a huge bucket list thing for me, and this is huge, I don't want to go with, half-assed stuff. I really want to apply myself and create 10 show-stopping looks for this. And so I really said I really would feel much better about, I already committed and signed the contract and said, I'll commit to next September, but I'd like to wait till then. And they were very nice and understanding about it. So that's why I decided to wait till September next year.
So that's also hopping back because you're saying, wait a minute, I don't want to move as fast as you want me to move. Yeah. I want to look at reality based upon the fact that I need time to make the designs. I need time to raise the funds. I need time to get my head wrapped around this. And I also need to pay attention to this has really been, all of us have had to really look at this, is that as much as we would like to go to Italy next week, you might not be able to get on a plane and go to Italy next week. Most likely you would be quarantined. There's no way you could go to Italy.
And to be honest, I don't want to go to Italy next week. You know what I mean? I'm hoping next year I'm feeling better about it. But yeah.
I just had to make a decision about not going to Sturgis this year because, I really had to look at the risk factor and the fact that my mother was very concerned about me going on my own and what happens if I got sick. And, sometimes you don't want to pivot and step back, but it's an absolute requirement. And so that's making me look at my plans for Micalizzi Gives and Micalizzi Rides and Biker Chicks Unite and my art with Micalizzi Art and Fashion. It's making me step back and say, okay, what am I putting on hold until an indefinite period of time? What am I moving forward with, and what different tools am I going to pull out of the tool drawer in order to be able to fulfill my obligations as an influencer and my obligations to myself and keep a roof over my head while I'm at it. So you're just kind of, I think sometimes when you have a chance to pivot back and you're a creative, it makes you be creative about how do I solve this problem? How do I crack this nut? The way I was going to crack it before is no longer possible.
Yeah.
So how am I going to crack this nut? And I'm interested to see even like how it turns out for me, because we just don't know, what's going to happen. So I think a lot of dealing with ambiguity is what we're doing now with COVID.
Yeah, and it's really mastering, reimagining the way you do things. It's really kind of important. So
yeah.
But other opportunities have recently come up too, to where I'm also part of Edify Fashion Group, and it's something that I co-founded, and we may have the opportunity to do another local show next year too. So we were presented with an opportunity, and I think we're going to look into it, but it's kind of baby steps right now. So I'm looking into that possibility too. So I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
So we didn't talk about this earlier. We kind of skipped over this question because we've had this conversation before. But for the people that are hearing this for the first time, how did you end up in fashion? Why fashion? Why? How come?
This is a very strange story.
The fact that you're starting with that means that I'm going to hear the story. I can't wait. Go ahead.
It goes back to the bikinis. I've always been creative and artistic. I did a lot of interior design work. I did some little tiny bit of commercial illustration stuff. It's always been, I was never that coordinated athletic kid, so I was always very artistic. So that goes way back. But one day I was at work in the office manager in accounting office, and my coworker comes in, and she competed in the fitness competitions, and she had bought this bikini, and it was like $400, and
Ridiculous.
and
The
she
cost, you have no idea how
and she,
expensive.
yeah, and she needed it fixed. And I'm looking at that and I'm going, you just paid $400 for that and you need somebody to fix it because it's not so, you know what I mean? I'm like, that just doesn't seem right. And I'm looking at that and I thought about it for like 2 days and I'm like, these cannot be that hard. They're just this big, you know? So I approached by Krista and I said, hey, what do you think? Do you think we could make these and stuff? Is there a market for these? And we got to talking and we came up with center stage suits. We opened a little studio and then we moved over to fabric in Tempe. And we designed quite a few suits for, women competing. And it was a lot of fun, but we'd be under deadlines and it'd be midnight and I'd be in there and that fabric is just no joke. I mean, it's like, you start sewing it and the top of it's supposed to be a triangle and it's all bent like we call them Dorito chips.
Yeah.
And you have to like start all over again. And I said, it's got to be easier to make a wedding dress than it does these things. And so lo and behold, at Fabric, they were getting ready to do this Brave Wings fashion show 3 years ago. And it was like, they were having a contest with emerging designers. And I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to see if I can do a dress. So I did a wedding. Well, it was kind of more a formal gown. It wasn't really a wedding dress, but it was a formal gown. And I did that. And I loved it. I just got hooked and it was easier than those suits. So I'm like, I just got hooked, with the girliness of it.
And it's amazing how you think it's a bikini, how complicated it can be. But, I remember being backstage and, you have that bikini's got to sit on your butt just the right way.
Exactly.
And you got to use monkey bite to keep the butt there. And what was amazing to me is one of the girls helped me make sure my suit was in place. It's not as simple as it looks, those suits.
Yeah, they have to hit you at the exact spot and
pinch you or give you a double bubble and you had a suit off the rack that fit me perfectly. It fit me perfectly, but the day of my show I was a little bit thinner than my fitting.
That was a struggle. I mean, you would get these and you'd have another fitting and but that last 3 days when they're dehydrating and they're not drinking anything at all and
it's like the suit while you're talking. It's a thing, right? It's that way with wedding dresses too, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not as bad. I mean, they're a little bit easier to adjust, you know what I mean? But because there's no room for error in those tiny suits. There's just no room. So
100%.
So it was fun, but we still occasionally will do one to fast. We've kind of moved on to another venture, which we were getting ready to start at the beginning of this year, and then COVID hit. So it was a blessing in disguise that we didn't go into a brand new business then, like you were talking about with Matt earlier. At the beginning of a business is not when you want to be hit with this stuff. So
that has a rent attached to it on a building.
Yeah, exactly. So, we're still working on it, and it's going to be really exciting. I can't wait to share that with people. It's not fashion related, but it's a cool idea. And so I have so many things going right now, but I've just focused on, there's a lot of downtime. I'm just taking advantage of it to the best of my ability. Gail,
I think you said something interesting. I think this is super interesting because you're always a creative person, but you didn't set out to be a fashion designer. It literally found you because you had your whole career has been a total, people have been finding you over and over again. It's very interesting.
It really does.
You can't even run from it because you have someone in your office that wants you to fix something and then accidentally you get found by an agency in Milan that wants you to go to Italy and show your dresses. I mean, it's just fantastic. What a fantastic story that is.
It is. It's very surreal. It's really surreal, but it's cool. I love it, and I'm just gonna keep on hoping, keep on working and doing the best I can, but I'm really trying hard to improve my talents, improve my skills, learn new things. and just create some over-the-top dresses. And I always do a collaborative photo shoot when I'm done, very artistic photo shoots with my photographer, and it's just great. And I love the mystical, I love the magical, I love the feminine and the flowers. And in today's world, it's all about athleisure and all this stuff, and that's great. There's so many people doing it well that I don't feel like I need to jump on what everyone else is doing. I'm 62 years old this year. I'm going to do what I want right now. I've paid my dues. I've played the rules. I've done what everybody else thinks is the wisest thing to do. And I don't tell this to many people because it sounds kind of stupid, but my dresses have to pass the Barbie test. If my Barbie doll would have worn it, then it passes. And then but my tagline is just become, I create and design for the other world where magic lives.
I love that. I love that even more when I think about this Halloween costume that I'm going to design. I'm hoping you're going to help me with it, because there's going to be a cat suit center to it. So Barbie would absolutely wear a cat suit.
Yeah, she would wear this look.
And pointy boobs, the whole thing. And she would totally wear a big over-the-top feathery crazy headgear and crazy shoes and like fringe on her arms and her legs. It's going to be ridiculous. And I actually have a photographer that agreed.
Oh, did you? Good. Okay, good.
Should we try to do? And we'll potentially be using this photo shoot thing that we do with what we create as part of the. I'm going to be doing some type of photo video evergreen for the leukemia lymphoma ride next year to kind of announce it with professionals who happen to also be bikers. So my shoot is going to be a crazy Halloween costume with silver that I purchased at Buddy Stubbs, and we're going to be partnering with Buddy Stubbs on the camp, the poker run, and many other things this year. We're working out the details on that. So it's just going to be I totally will tell you that the Halloween costume is going to be a totally Barbie appropriate thing. Just letting you know. So my friend Rosalind just chimed in, and she says, I got to put the glasses on. She says, Gail Friend is my friend.
She is my friend.
And other art when I had my shop at Phoenix. So talented and such a nice person. Thanks a lot, Rosalind. Absolutely, you are a nice person. It's one of my favorite things about you. In fact, it may very well be my favorite thing about you, even though you are a rock star designer.
Well, that's my motto. If nothing, just be nice. Just be nice.
100%. Even if you disagree with somebody, or somebody's not barking up your tree, or things aren't working out for whatever reason, you can be kind. You don't need to
be nice and go home and do what you want to do. I don't quite get it, but I just be nice.
Me neither. I recently had a new lesson in meanness that just is like one of those things. Like, why would I want to be around a mean person? Like it always hits you when it hits you. Like, why am I? No, mean's not good. I'm kind and positive.
I don't understand how people can be unkind and walk away from it and feel good. The times when I've been ugly and gotten bad, I have just felt horrible for days about it. It's like, how do you be mean or unkind and live with yourself? I can't comprehend that.
I think the fashion industry gets a little bit of a bad rap on that sense, because there are a couple of prima donnas in the industry, and I'm not telling stories. It's just kind of the truth. You know what I mean? There are a couple people in the fashion industry that do need to learn some manners. I used to work on that. I can say that.
I kind of have a philosophy about this, and it's not 100% true, because there's some hardworking designers out there who are in the limelight for sure.
Right.
But I think that the people who are the dressmakers, the seamstresses, the one doing the work, they're doing what they love. They're at home at their machine. They're not the party people. I don't like being at a party. I don't like being in the limelight. That's just not what I like about it. I like the creating part. And I think a lot of real designers, that the people who's sitting down doing the work, there's designers who don't sew. There's designers who have an atelier and they hire people to do their designs and stuff. So they've got more the, that's their thing. That's their jam. That's what they like to do. And that's good. That's, there's room for everybody, and we need that flash in fashion, or it wouldn't be like it is. It's just not my thing.
Well, Gail, I'm so grateful that we had a chance to chat again. One of the things that's cool for me about Relentless Talk Radio is especially when I get a chance to have multiple interviews with somebody, is that, it's all about relationships for me. I really don't make money at Relentless Talk Radio. What I get from Relentless Talk Radio is the relationships. Right. And the relationships, some of them are monetized, but on some level, right? But most of the relationships that I've built on Relentless Talk Radio have been like you and I, where it's just been about supporting each other and shouting out our businesses and collaborating. And I really love that you've always gotten that about me, and I get that about you. So I'm looking forward to shouting you out and helping you to raise some money for Milan. I'm going to do that anyway, so there. And I'm looking forward to talking with you again. We might make this a yearly event, you and I. And next year, I can't wait to see where your business goes. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll get together with roll some cat ideas around.
We'll figure it out, right?
I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it, so
it'll be fun if we decide to do it. So Gail, I appreciate your time. We've gone about 6 minutes over, but that's been the kind of the way the day has gone today. We've been late and over, and technology's been rearing its ugly head. So no big deal. I love that we had a chance to talk. Thank you so much for taking time out.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Me too. And thanks, Rosalind. It was nice seeing you.
Hey. So that's the end of episode 86, everybody, of Relentless Talk Radio. I'll be back again next week with episode 87, talking to 2 more rock stars about, I don't even know what we're going to talk about yet because I haven't dreamt it up yet. But, thanks again for tuning into Relentless Talk Radio, and we'll see you here next week at 2:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is Arizona time. And that's it. Thanks a lot, Gail. We'll see you later.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See you later.
Cool. Thank you.